All right, so Legacy Elves. This deck's got a few different things going on in it. This is a combo deck with a fair creature beatdown backup plan. We combo in a couple different ways. One of the ways we combo here is via Glimpse of Nature. It's actually a card that's banned in Modern for reasons we'll hopefully be able to show off here today. Whenever you cast a creature spell this turn, draw a card. So you pair Glimpse of Nature along with things like Nettle Sentinel and Heritage Druid to cast a bunch of cheap 1-mana creatures and kind of chain through your deck and draw a bunch of cards. The way we actually finish the game is with a combo kill via Natural Order here. Additional cost to cast this, sacrifice a green creature. Search your library for a green creature card, put it onto the battlefield, shuffle your library. So generally speaking, we fetch up Craterhoof Behemoth with Natural Order here. So this makes all of our creatures huge and trample and run the opponent down. We also have a utility creature here, Archon of Valor's Reach, to grab with Natural Order, which locks players out of casting a chosen card type. This is useful in some of the combo-based matchups for people who are going to be a little bit faster than us. If Craterhoof Behemoth isn't quite lethal on a board, we can Natural Order, or sometimes even Green Sun Zenith, into Archon to lock our opponent out. This deck gets to play once upon a time. So I played some Elves in the past, and it's always felt like it was a little bit inconsistent. Like, one of the issues I've talked about with Legacy Elves in the past is that because you play Gaea's Cradle and Dryad Arbor, this archetype often felt like it simultaneously had too few lands and too many lands at the same time. And I think Once Upon a Time might really work to help solve that problem. So I'm interested to see how that goes. So I mentioned we have Progenitus in the sideboard. This is a card that you can Natural Order for in the fair matchup, so you can quickly grab this, and unless they have something like, a Terminus or Wrath of God or Damnation, Progenitus can run most fair decks down pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and hop on into a Legacy League with this one and see how it goes. For the first time in a long time, we're down to single-digit Moto decks in the queue. So any Magic Online submissions should be gotten to in less than a week's delay. And that's intentional. One of the goals of upping the price of Moto decks was to reduce the volume going through the queue. So nah, I'm not really interested. I'm a JoJo. Channel Fireball actually reached out to me and offered me the option to play for no entry fee so long as I was streaming it. And it's just not worth my time really. There's so much downtime in tournaments like that like it's just bad content. The piles of waiting just isn't good. Legacy submissions are $50. All Moto decks are 5-0. Hit up with a just chatting stream. Imagine the politics. I don't know. Maybe if like the whole queue system as a whole breaks down, and I don't have a constant stream of viewer submitted decks to play. But as long as I have a constant stream of viewer submissions, I don't really intend to change my business model, so to speak. Can you do Narset Cannon in Legacy? I mean, you could, but it's pretty bad. There's other better turn 1 combo decks that you can play in Legacy, for sure. How long has the donation queue been working for? Gosh, since I went full-time. Yeah, I would be too, Percy. What formats tend to stay full at any given point? What formats tend to be filled tend to differ, month to month, week to week, or whatever you want to call it. But generally speaking, the queue, I've never had the queue not be full. So Iggy, again, the reason why I raised the price to $50 is because I want less Moto submissions. At $25 submissions, I get so many Moto submissions that there's a giant backlog of them and people have to wait weeks to play them. And there's just like pretty bad decks, honestly. Like, people are willing to take risks with worse decks on their money when it's less money. And if we get to a point where I don't have enough Moto decks to play 5 days a week. My intention is to just play less than 5 days a week of Magic Online. I would consider not filling the queue with Moto decks a feature, not a bug. Moto is expensive to play. So, like, what you have to realize is, if I do $25 Moto decks, it's like I'm only getting $15 for it because it costs me $10 to play the deck. And Moto decks take often 1.5 times as long as Magic Arena decks to play, and the content's less popular. So from just from a brutal capitalism perspective, it doesn't really make sense to price them as low as they are with the variety on Arena is. So I'm going to prioritize playing out my 1-mana spells here because my opponent is a Chalice of the Void deck if they're playing Eldrazi. So I want to play all of these out. Yeah, that's my intention, Alex. Like, I'm loving Historic. There's a ton of Historic submissions. I prefer Magic Arena to Magic Online in general. So if we get less Moto submissions, I will simply fill in some of that time with I've talked about this on the sub Discord, and I've talked about it once, but they could draw it. JMP is the thing. Like, if they draw it for the turn, they're definitely going to play it out. So, like, there's no reason to not play out my 3/1s rather than the Green Sun and, like, risk them drawing it. I mean, danger of getting all this stuff. So I don't know. I feel like even if they do play that card, they probably don't play it game 1. Sorry, just to complete my thought, my plan is, if we do run out of Moto submissions, I still plan to do some older formats, but my generic plan is to cut Moto down to 3 days per week, and if we don't get at least 3 submissions per week, I will fill decks that I want to play in. Things like Kiki Chord, basically. Alright, that's a Glimpse of Nature, so that's pretty good. So I can make a ton of mana and bounce some elves here, right? I think I'm going to start by grabbing... Can I Craterhoof this turn? Don't know about you, but Chef set this feeling 22. Yeah, I think it's just Visionary, right? I think I could get Hoof. So I have 3, 4, 5. I could untap, and that would be 6, 7, 8. Play a land is 9. Is that lethal? It might actually be lethal, and if it's lethal, obviously it's right to do it, right? So this is 5, return untap, 6, 7, 8, play a land, 9th mana. I'll have this untapped, could return an elf, untap this. All right, yeah, they're dead. Okay, so we untap this, return a forest. I mean, this is like a turn 3 kill against an opponent that didn't interact with us. Like, this is super slow by all legacy combo deck metrics. Yeah, opponent kept a hand that was probably fine against a fair blue deck, or their hand was fine against Delver of Secrets, but it was dog poop against a combo deck, even a slow combo deck like this one. This deck that we're playing is considered a slow combo deck in Legacy, just for reference. And then we can activate this. We're gonna untap this, return this. And then we'll untap this, return this, and then we'll attack them for 32-44 with Trample. Beansy! Thank you for the very generous Tier 2 resub. I appreciate the 2/3 of a year. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Alright, so we're expecting our opponent to be on... Chalice the Void here, so Abrupt Decay sounds great. Is Collector Ouphe good? the opponent's archetype often plays Ratchet Bomb, right? So it's Collector Ouphe reasonable to bring in. I feel like it's not unreasonable. It's also just like a spell that doesn't cost 1 mana against their Chalice of the Void deck for the sake of being reasonable. Does Veil of the Summer negate Chalice of the Void? Well, Veil costs 1. So like if you cast this in response, this does stop Chalice from countering your spells, but if Chalice is on 1, it's not particularly useful. They probably have Walking Ballista. Yeah, definitely want the Collector Ouphe. I'm just gonna trim the Glimpse of Natures here. I think that's my plan. Just trim some of these 1 mana things. No, so Veil simply says your spells can't be countered this turn. It gives you hexproof from blue and black in terms of spells targeting your permanents in play, but it's on the stack text is just that. Do we want Progenitus? Yeah, you're right. We probably do, actually. I'll cut the last glimpse. That's a good suggestion. I think I want the Archon just because, like, I think there's a reasonable chance that we could just, like, draw this and cast it for 6 mana. Yeah, natural order for Progenitus probably wins this game, this matchup, a significant portion of the time. Sure. If they chalice me on 1, I have 5 castable spells, which is like all you could really ask for. Recon Bravo team, thank you for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Oh no! Oh no! We drew the Hydra avatar, chat. Oh, everything went so terribly wrong. When we're on the play, do we board in Thoughtseize? I think we do, right? I think we board in Thoughtseize on the play. That sound reasonable to people? Pass and discard? Nah, I ain't about that life. Gotta get my Visionary into play. Visionary. Vision is scary. Start a revolution. Pollute in the airwaves. Doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. 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 Beep beep. Doo-doo-doo. If I had a Thoughtseize, you could discard the big boy. Well, there's currently a Chalice on 1. You really like Eminem. I mean, it was on my playlist growing up. Alright, so we gotta draw some lands here, chat. If we draw some lands, if we draw some tracks of lands, we can Green Sun for a thing. We do get the value discard on the Progenitus. You're not wrong. just Moto things. For reference, if you right click on your cards in play, it'll say newly controlled. You can even see it on their opponent. If you right click on their card, it says newly controlled, and this one doesn't. Just good Moto interface tip so you don't get motoed. Green Sun is less than or equal to. Equal to or less than. Jedi! Thank you for the 5 months. I appreciate the Prime. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. Green Sun is busted. Green Sun is playable. I think the people that think Green Sun is busted need to re-examine their card evaluation skills. I'm gonna go grab. I'll grab a 2-drop here. What's his name? The Collector Ouphe. I guess I can just get a mana creature. Did I just get Elvish Mystic? I'm probably supposed to just get Elvish Mystic, right? Actually. I once cursed you for Hooky Man Raid. Now I have to thank you because it saves my sanity and isolation. It's a good time sink game, for sure. Oh, that's why I wasn't gonna do that. Because they had the thing. Yeah, it's fine. Smashy, smashy. Yeah, we should be dead now. We'll take 1 draw on an untapped land here. Too slow. Alright, so we're going to board in Thoughtseize on the play here. I didn't board them in on the draw because on the draw it's too slow to tag their Chalice. Obviously on the play that's not the case. Let's do it. In it to win it. This is a viewer submitted list, Seth. I'm not really touching legacy lists at all. I haven't played enough of the format. I'll massage Pioneer and Modern lists a little bit, but legacy I'm mostly just taking people at their face value. Especially when they're like tier-ish decks like this. It does, Thopter Gifts. Let's grab Heritage Druid here. Could just be Visionary too. Yeah, Visionary, just getting a little card velocity going is probably fine. I'm not super worried about Chalice. I've got the Decay. It's my favorite legacy deck. I don't really have a favorite legacy deck at the moment. Ha! Their deck plays once upon a time. I guess that makes sense why they're playing Elvish Spirit Guide instead of Simian Spirit Guide like they always did. This card's so offensive. Oh. Like, Legacy's just like, Magic's happy little accidents. Such happy little accidents all here together. Once Upon a Time feels like a card printed in the 90s. I agree. I agree with that completely. It feels like a card from a different era of Magic. You can get dismembered, sure. Okay, that's sick. Yeah, Oko, and Hagak are decks that cards that get played regularly in this format. That's all you need to know. Yes, yeah, I agree, Farron Brightmore. Big agree. I mean, like, as someone who, generally speaking, shies away from making strong card predictions, like, if you go back to, like, when I first looked at Once Upon a Time, I believe my direct quote was, I don't know what this card is pre-ordering for, but whatever it is, it's not enough. Just, like, the easiest this card needs to be a 4 of in everything spot of just, like, ever. Super unfortunate here. They hit the Thought Not Seer before we could get our natural order down. This is probably going to be enough disruption to break us up here if we don't draw really well. Kiki Jiki! Kiki Jiki! Why? Yeah, wrong part of the combo. I was looking for another natural order, not one of those. Feels magic, man. Indeed. Ugh. I'm gonna fetch the other Dryad Arbor. I mean, you could theoretically cast it with Birchlore Rangers, but from a practical standpoint, it's just a mulligan. Wouldn't casting once it better? Instead of me telling you you're wrong, tell me why you're right. Why is it better to cast Once Upon a Time there, being slightly more mana efficient, rather than getting another creature into play? Does it look like I'm choked on mana? That's my question to you. Do you think my bottleneck right now is mana? If so, why? Please explain. Okay, so I think we're abrupt decaying the Ratchet Bomb regardless, yeah. The question is, do I think I have time to Wirewood Symbiote here or no? I think I might, because the Symbiote lets me block a bunch here too. If I take the Craterhoof, next turn I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. I think I'm supposed to take this. So I'm going to activate this. You can use... Yeah, Symbiote buys us a lot of time. Untap this, return this one. So, and you can use Symbiote on each player's turn here. So I'll get to untap this Elvish Visionary, pick up the other one, and then this next turn I'll get to block their Thought Not Seer, pick up this Elvish Visionary, and then next turn I can draw 3 cards, which is quite good. Well, that's unfortunate. Morning, Southern Wizard. All right, you're taking 3 in this combat step here. Should not have untapped Dryad Arbor to replay Visionary. No, I literally just explained my line to you. People, fair warning, because I'm getting annoyed. People who have swords especially, if you keep asking me to defend my lines to you rather than you explaining why your line is better, I'm going to give you a 10-minute break. You're not new here. Untap you, pick up you, recast you, untap the Sentinel, always yes, always yield. They do something that costs 8 here? Endless one, okay. That's less scary than I was expecting. Chuki, thank you for the absurdly generous tier 3 resub, and for 3/4 of a year at that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, so this block is easy. I think I'm chumping with this as well. I'm just going to 7. Untap you, pick up you. Tap these, tap this. Look at that. That's good feedback. So if I take the other line, I get to... The other line still ends up with the Visionary being untapped. Sure, that's good. That's a good thing to point out. Untap you, pick up you. Replay you. Abrupt Decay. So that deals with Endless One. Use this to untap this, pick up this, cast this. Are they dead? They're dead, right? Natural order, 1, 2, 3 attackers. 4 attackers. Hoof dead is. Hoof dead is. Hoof dead is. The old risky click with the no zoom. Da, 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 da. Yay! Mopey dirtily drawing cards. MP3061, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oaklandia. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. How do we cast Progenitus? We don't. Would have been better to use the Abrupt Decay on the Thoughtseer. I'm going to give you a 10-minute break to read Thoughtseer and Abrupt Decay. Thanks for the 23 months, Bug Helper. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. That's fine. Scoreboard, winning the game where we drew the Progenitus again. Is it better to use shocks or basics at that point? You're probably better off just cutting the splash. Just like play some more basics and then like it's the same person or someone else. Different person, different gel stack. I think I cast Once Upon a Time here, and I might concede if it misses. If we don't find like Rec Sage. I'm gonna play Bayou for now. I don't think that fully gives away what we're doing. I'm going to concede to a Thoughtseer. I mean, CNN is garbage, but to be fair, Bernie should probably drop out. In my opinion, unless every remaining state can enact full voting by mail before their next primary, primaries should not be happening. Well, I'm glad you'll be able to stay safe at least, Moldylocks, and we'll be happy to have you here. And remember, if dollars do get tight, you've got that moderator sword next to your name. Oh, you got Prime too. As long as you keep Prime, you got a free sub. Levin, speaking of free subs, Levin, thanks for the brand new free sub. Welcome back. Dryad Arbor can be fetched. This is how we boarded last time, right? Oh, I boarded in Collector Ouphe as well, right? Opponent cast Chalice of the Void on one, and we died. Yeah, that's how I boarded. Thoughtseize in on the play. Abrupt Decay, Collector Ouphe, Progenitus. On the draw, we'll cut the Thoughtseizes, bring in these two probably. So, I saw a thing on Amazon where if you order something and you flag it as non-essential, they give you, I think it's like a $3 credit on your account. Don't you think people will see Bernie as the better candidate with how the crisis is handled by these three men? No, I don't think so. I think people are devoid of reality and facts, and it doesn't matter. I think if facts and reality and voting records and what people actually said mattered, Biden would never have been ahead of Bernie. We are living in a post-fact world. I thought I saw a comment from the Biden campaign that he did not intend to partake in another debate with Bernie. Am I making that up? Yeah, Christy told me that, but that could have been hearsay. Thanks for the 3/4 of a year, Zaja. All right, yeah, this is good. So we'll keep this and we'll bottom Nettle Sentinel here, I think. And the plan here is land Green Sun for... Actually, do I Green Sun? No, I'm just going to Quirion Ranger, right? Because Green Sun can cost more if they jealous me. If facts matter, Trump wouldn't be president is pretty correct. Yeah, hand's really good. Natural Order is one of our better tools in this matchup for sure. Have I been live for long? About 35 minutes. I go live about 8:15 Central. This is our second match. Do I just green Sun for Arbor? Yeah, probably. I want a ramp here, right? Or just like hoping to not get Thoughtseize next turn. I mean, again, like if voting records mattered and people who were voting actually were informed on the issues, like Joe Biden wouldn't have a snowball's chance because his voting record is garbage. The things he said about Social Security and the things he wanted to do are not good. You also really have to remember that like the things you see on Reddit and the things you see on Twitter and the things you see here on Twitch, they're all incredibly biased and slanted towards Bernie Sanders. Because the people who are showing up and voting for Joe Biden instead of Bernie Sanders aren't on Reddit mostly, they aren't on Twitter mostly. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I didn't do this in response. We were talking, and I didn't once in response. Whatever. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Everything's gonna be alright. Do 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 do. That's fine. They're dead next turn, right? This is free, because Cradle. Hoof day it is. Do 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 do. So they're at 21. This is 20, 24. What's up with the legacy decks? Since Pioneer turned into a steaming dumpster fire lights, for the most part, I've opened my morning segment up to any Magic Online format. So Pioneer, Modern, Legacy, Pauper, whatever format people are willing to pay the new higher price tag for, I'm willing to play in the morning. So, all Magic Online submissions moving forward are $50 for subs or $60 for non-subs. And it weird, it turns out people who enjoy playing Legacy have money to submit more decks on average. That's strange. Hey, Crayon. Hope you had a good stream the other day. Thanks for the sub gifties. Let me give you a sword while you're in here so you can chat. So, I think I'm happy with how we boarded here. I don't think I want this Archon. I actually might want the Archon just to cast it. Yeah, you played a bunch of the stick. I'm gonna trim the Nettle Sentinel again. Do you ever have non-sub submit decks? Yeah, on occasion, Beetle. On occasion. I'll often explain to them that it's cheaper to sub and submit a deck, but sometimes they do anyways. It doesn't matter. The Sand's great, right? A bunch of potentially castable spells. You can do both, Moldy. So when you gift multiple subs like Cran just did, they go out random, but you can also gift to specific people. What happened there? So Stephen Douglas Weeks, thanks for the 21 months. To cover, you cannot auto-renew a Prime sub. So like for my personal Prime sub, I have just a date set on my calendar to remind me to go use it again. So, as for people that weren't keeping up on the loop with Pioneer, what happened to Pioneer was twofold. They basically repeated all of the mistakes they repeated with Modern. So, a bunch of combo cards got printed. Theros introduced not one, not two, but three brutal combo decks into Pioneer. That was thing one that happened. Thing two that happened was that in addition to printing those brutal combos into the format and then leaving them all legal, they also left the format to rot by not unbanning any of the things that they had banned previously that were likely, in my opinion, worse than the new things that they printed. So they printed Inverter combo, Heliod Walking Ballista, and Breach combo decks. And then on top of printing those three, they also left Field of the Dead banned, and they left Field of the Dead banned, and they left, Felidar Guardian banned, which things that are easier to interact with than these new combos that they printed. That's, again, one of the reasons why I've really loved Historic has not only been that it's still currently in that exploration phase, which is always fun, it's the fact that while we're in this exploration phase, they've also shown an incredible willingness to not have the ban list be static, right? Like they gave us back Field of the Dead instead of just banning it outright. So that difference to me personally is huge and key. They didn't just ban things and then when the format changed, they chose to actually revisit what they banned. I need to make a note. Someone else commented on that. Check Jeskai Planeswalker deck for Historic. If you try downloading the text file, Southern Wizard, and importing by copying the text file, does that work? Is it the same group of people in charge for both formats? I don't know. I'm going to fetch double Bayou here, because they occasionally are a Wasteland deck. And I have Abrupt Decay in my deck. Oh, no, I should have fetched Savannah, right? Because I have Archon in my hand. Hopefully that doesn't matter. I'm a big dumb. Well, none of those are the third land I'm looking for. We're probably going to be a little bit too slow here against this Chalice. Probably going to end up a little too slow. Chalice and the Thought Not Seer is definitely one of their better starts against us. You know what? It could have also been right. It could have also been right to fetch Dryad Arbor there in the event that we found a Cradle. Yeah, it's gonna do it. I made a note to check it. So the deck pages on my site are through the Stream Decker plugin. And someone mentioned that the other day, and I forgot to make a note and make a bug report if it's broken. I mean, Legacy is basically like the format of Rancid card designs, right? Fun fact on Chalice of the Void from a Magic history perspective. The reason why Chalice of the Void is a trigger as opposed to a games rule thing like Sanctum Prelate is because when Chalice of the Void was created, you couldn't miss your triggers in competitive play. That wasn't a thing. Both players were obligated to maintain triggers like that. If Chalice of the Void was printed today, it would likely be templated like Sanctum Prelate is templated and just say players can't cast spells with the chosen converted mana cost. Yes, you definitely can, Beansy. Man, it took us 3 matches, but we finally found an island, huh? Takes a little bit sometimes. Stu Nami, thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. Okay, you have my attention. Oh, it's the ninja deck. Yeah, that makes sense. You're gonna ninjutsu this? Excuse me? All right, so Glimpse of Nature, cast Quirion Ranger, one ones versus Emrakul. Who could win? Actually, maybe I'm supposed to wait to play this land out because if I wait to play the land out, I could draw a Cradle. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to wait there. Because I could draw Cradle. So I can go... I think I Green Sun... I think I Green Sun for Heritage Druid here. And then we tap these 3 for 3 mana. And then I can go second Glimpse Wirewood Symbiote. Any tips? Just do it because you love it. If you stream some Historic in the afternoons, you could drop me a message. I can give you a host at some point. So, would I rather just single Symbiote or Glimpse of Nature? I think I Glimpse and then Symbiote, because Symbiote will let me pick up Quirion Ranger and then play Quirion Ranger, and then I can make more mana that way. Hey, Sharps, thanks for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So I can say, okay, use this, untap Dryad Arbor, pick this up. And then I can Quirion Ranger, draw 2. And then I can tap this, activate this, target this, pick up this. Okay, and then we Heritage Druid, draw 2. Okay, that's a Wirewood Symbiote. So we tap this, play Wirewood Symbiote. And then I use this to untap this, picking up this. Maybe I should have grabbed a 1-mana creature there. Maybe. You probably should have picked a 1-drop back up. We can kill Ornithopter. That's technically correct. Then we can Symbiote, untap this, pick up this. Okay, there's a Nettle Sentinel. That's what we needed. So now I get to go tap, 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 tap. Make 3 mana. And now I get to Wirewood Symbiote. Dinky Dorko, thanks for the 25 months. Always yes, always yield. And then this I can activate, so we'll say untap this, pick this up. And then we'll cast this, which untaps my Nettle Sentinel, draw some cards here. And now I haven't drawn the Craterhoof yet, right? So now I go tap, tap. Tap. That's 4 mana. If I hoof, it's not lethal, right? Because this doesn't have haste. Right? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, I've used all my symbiotes. Yeah, I could Green Sun for Nettle Sentinel and then play Nettle Sentinel. And then play this. I think that's the line. Yeah, then 1 mana creatures become ramp is exactly correct. Two mana creatures are ramp too, right? Okay, there's a Quirion Ranger. Alright, so they're dead now, right? Because I didn't draw the hoof yet. So I can say, activate this, untap this, return this. So now I have 2 creatures that can attack. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So my creature will get plus 13, plus 13. So that'll be 14. And this gives it, hoof gives itself trample too, right? Yes, that'll be 13. So this will be 18 and 14 is 32. Is 32 enough? No, they're at 34. They're at 34, right? So that's not enough. So if I don't draw Craterhoof off this Reclamation Sage, we kill them. Even if we do, we'll just need to make a little bit more mana. Alright, we didn't draw Craterhoof. Now they're down toughness. Well, Craterhoof replaces itself. Catch-up fights and it counts itself, so it's neutral. So you don't add a creature for Craterhoof, but you don't lose a creature either. Yeah, so I have 15 and 19, that's 34, and they're at 32 because I killed their blocker. Opponent put an Emrakul into play on turn 2, we untapped and killed them. Trade your Emrakul for my Elvish Visionary. Deal. Ah, Legacy. What a silly place. Alright, so this is a Veil of Summer and Thoughtseize matchup for sure. It's not an Archon matchup. It's a thick Visionary. That's a good turn. It's a good puzzle deck. Like, I don't know how competitive this deck is. Maybe it's great, maybe it's not. But regardless of its power level, the puzzles contained within feel fun. What am I trimming for my Thoughtseize and my Veils? It's good versus Death and Taxes, sure. I believe you. I feel like I'm supposed to keep Rec Sage in just as like a break glass in case of emergency card. In case they have random stuff out of their sideboard that messes me up. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm just going to trim a couple of Visionaries here. Because there's a good chance I don't have time to grind with this card. That's what I should do. I'm going to trim the 2 Visionaries. Because there's a good chance I don't have time to grind with Visionary in this matchup. Some elf decks are splashing for Oko. Yeah, that makes sense. Has Archetype splash blue in the past? Yeah, Chalice is a card. We played against 2 Chalice decks to start this league. We beat 1 and we lost to 1. I'm going to keep the 2 fetch lands because I might just get 2 Dryad Arbors with them, depending on how this works out. Is Veil of Summer the best hate card ever printed? I would say it's the most efficient hate card ever printed. I think things like Boil and Flashfires tend to be a little bit more obnoxious, aggressive, offensive, depending on how you want to classify them. I think the efficiency of Veil of Summer is the big part of its pull and draw. Chill, yeah. A lot of older hate cards I think are better, but they're just less efficient. Yeah, would be a good summary. Is Price of Progress a hate card? That's a good question. They made a 4/4 on turn 1. How quaint. How incredibly fair for this format. Am I just passing here? I feel like I'm just passing. Retrofitter Foundry. It's cute with Ornithopter. Seems pretty slow otherwise, though. Yikes. Yeah, probably Balasar. As always, questions on will I play X should always be answered by submitting the form on my website. Okay, so what's the plan here now? I believe the plan is get Dryad Arbors, try to get Dryad Arbors and try and Cradle into a Behemoth. Oh, you know what? I should have gotten another Wirewood Symbiote and just fetched Arbors is what I should have done there. Yeah. That's what I should have done. Yeah, we're gonna be too slow here. All right, I'm gonna put my 2 Abrupt Decays in over these Veil of Summers, since they're on Plague Engineer. You have a good one, Jin. Since we're playing Moto today, there's been a lot of chatter in the Magic Online community about apparently people are upset that they changed some of the default sounds on Magic Online. And the thing that I was most surprised to learn was apparently people play Magic Online with the sounds on. That was news, definitely news to me. Moto has sound. There are technically sound effects for this stunning application. Playing Moto with the sound is 100% Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, seems like it. They reset all settings with the update. Well, that's not true. All my custom hotkeys are still the same. So they definitely didn't do what you just recommended they did. Alright, so they have like a Force of Will in their hand? Is that what we're contemplating? We're contemplating forcing my Quirion Ranger? Is that where you're at in your life, opponent? Do I put them on Force of Will? I could hoof them here. Hoof would attack for 8, 9, 10, 11 with the Dryad Arbor. I could pick up Bayou. No, the Dryad Arbor couldn't attack, right? Yeah, we'll wait a turn. That's right to wait. I think I'd rather Once Upon a Time than Abrupt Decay here. Oh, I also can't Abrupt Decay because I don't have black mana. Reclamation Sage. You'll love to see it. Yeah, potentially lethal next turn if they don't have a counterspell or a discard spell this turn. Baleful Strix. Remember that time I boarded out my Veil of Summers for these 2 Abrupt Decays? Peppered Farm remembers. Mistakes were made. Morning, Big Show. Should have just been more linear on the play. They have an X spell. Or we're getting Toxic Deluge. Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna concede. If I board better, we kill them there. Should have just left the Veils in when we were on the play. So if I have Veil there, they have to have second blue card. At least we'll always have that game 1 together where they played Emrakul and we killed them. Yeah, I mean, we only have to go 2 and 3 to get some of our play points back. They flatten the prices on the leagues a little bit when they combine them. It's not like the old $12 legacy leagues where you had to go 3-2 to get anything. I mean, Veil of Summer is an incredibly fair card in this format. Like, this format is incredibly blue. This is a format where, like, main deck Pyroblast was like is probably still a reasonable thing to be doing, especially if you're a blue-red deck. Yeah, I've heard a number of people levy complaints against Astrolab. That one's probably pretty reasonable. I feel like Astrolab's pretty bannable on, like, the Gataxian Probe principle, basically. That's probably the most apt comparison for it. Yeah, like, paying $12 to play matches is not great. Like, paying $5 to play 5 matches is, like, a lot more acceptable. You can play, if you're someone who's winning 40 to 50% of your matches, you get to play a lot more Magic under the new pay structure. I'm gonna grab Savannah because I have the Archon in my hand. We might just end up casting it depending on what archetype they're playing. They forced my Heritage Druid, sure. Cling to Dust. Okay. This card seems really sweet. This card was great when we played it in Standard the other day. Would not be surprised if it's good in this format as well. It's the Kroxa deck. Are they, like, playing this with Kroxa seems really bad, right? Because, like, then you have two things fighting over your graveyard. I think Cling in general seems really good. Like, the ceiling on a card that cantrips is high, and like, if you're not playing something like Gurmag Angler or a Delve card or another escape card, like, you're probably going to get 2 or 3 cards out of this most games. This is game 1. Thanks for the biddy, Seth. And that will actually push Standard out of today's stream. So we'll be all historic after this. Yeah, right? Who's pre-boarding for the Elves matchup? Send help. So definitely a choke matchup. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to cut the natural orders against a fair deck. Now, I think you're supposed to cut the natural orders rather than go to Progenitus. Or maybe you do that and just leave it and just try and punk them. I'm pretty pro punking people. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Trim a couple glimpse. I think I probably need to just... I'm down to 24 creatures. I'm going to cut all the glimpses, actually. I feel like if I'm bringing in all of this and leaving a natural order, something's got to give. Let's try it. Let's try this. Mulligan, I think. Keep, I guess. Yep, yeah, exactly. Well, that's a punishing fire. We knew that was probably there. This matchup seems pretty impossible for us. I don't know. I feel like if the fair decks have like punishing fires, and if the fair decks have like, this was supposed to be the type of matchup where like this deck could be successful. And, like, I feel like if the fair decks are dumpstering us and we're also too slow to win the unfair matchups, like, what are we doing with our lives, basically? Because of these 2 fetch lands, we're also going to have enough stuff in our bin that, like, Natural Order gets Drown in the Locked. Yeah, this archetype doesn't seem very good anymore. I don't know if it was ever that great, but definitely felt like a bit of a punching bag today between Chalice decks and Plague Engineers. We've played against Chalice of the Void or Plague Engineer in every single match so far. Yep. Alright, these Dryad Arbors are going the distance. They're going full speed. They're all alone in this time of need. They're racing and pacing and plotting the goals. I am going to play the 5th match in this league at 1 and 3, though, because if we manage to 2-3, we get $5 back. And I've actually spewed the last $100 I bought in tickets in record time because Pioneer's been so rough. We're going to concede to the Grove plus the 2 Punishing Fires. Yeah. With slowing down on the number of moto decks we're doing, we probably won't spew as quickly anymore, but it's been a rough setting of dollars on fire. Yeah. Get that whale emote. It's been a rough... Burning tickets have been keeping us warm. What deck did we beat? We beat one of the Chalice decks we played against. How about I give you $5 to go to Historic? Deal? Yeah, I don't know. Like, we just played 4 matches. We played against Chalice of the Void. And we played against Chalice of the Void and Plague Engineer every match. I think one of this archetype's strengths was that once upon a time, it could really grind out fair Magic decks. And, like, with Plague Engineer... And, like, Punishing Fire's always been there, but with Plague Engineer on top of it, it really feels like this is something that struggles. When do we get you in a Q&A RSL stream so you could talk us through dungeons? I was like, what is RSL? Raid Shadow Legends, got it. So, one of the things, I actually had... Alright, for people at home, I'm going to answer your question in a second, Zothar. I'm going to hit a quick ad roll. When I get back, we're going to dive into all Historic for the rest of the day. We had Chef Seth don't cheer a very generous number of bits to cut in an extra Historic deck. So we're just going to do 5 Historic decks and we'll save Standard for the weekend. As far as Shadow Legends content goes,